What's up, hockey fans of all ages, shapes, and sizes? Look at that Frege hair I got going this morning. Beauty. Wanted to talk about the draft. I think the Leafs press is going to be dominating a lot of the news for ever, probably up to the draft. So I wanted to squeak this in. Everybody knows Bedard's going first overall. The goal he scored in the quarterfinals, like for him to do that in overtime in the World Juniors was insane. I don't know, like as a hockey player, I don't know if other people appreciate how hard that is to do, to walk through. Like I think at least three guys. It reminded me of the McDavid like best goal of all time, where he like in a shoebox or like a phone booth, he basically all the jock straps are laying on the ice of four New York Rangers guys. Yeah, that is so hard to do at an equal talent. Yeah, maybe a regular season game or whatever, but when you're in like a playoff game or World Juniors, or when there's like people really playing as hard as possible, that is insanely difficult to do. So that guy's going number one for sure on everybody's list. Number two, I think Adam Fantilli, explosive speed, like unreal first couple steps. He's going number two in my mind. I think that Leo Carlson's going to go to. I was back and forth over this forever. Like, are they going to take Michkov at number three? I think a lot of these things come down to like a team fit as well. When you think of where you need to be your next few years. Like I'll get to Will Smith in a second, because I think top five are the critical, most important, maybe even the top six. But yeah, you got Michkov, who it's so hard to compare his skill against other people with the video, the copyrights and things. The best one I've ever like I was really leaning towards Columbus picking Leo Carlson, and then probably Sharks taking Will Smith. I'm a righty, so I'm a bit biased on love the righty shots. There seems to be a domination of lefties in the league. Leo Carlson's a lefty, big body. He kind of reminds me of a Thomas Hertl kind of guy a little bit. Big body, good in the corners, forechecking, pulling pucks out. And he's got a good shot too, like a two-way player, that Selke type, like a Kopitar or, that kind of guy. I think that's his ceiling. And, Michkov, he had the tragic death of his father, the war in Russia and stuff. Like, who knows what's going on there? I think those risk elements are sort of like from your market timing or whatever, you got to weigh those in. So I think that, it's a really interesting pick for my Sharks there. I don't envy their position. It's got to be so difficult because, the best video I've seen is Elite Prospects. They put together some of Michkov's World Junior stuff. He looks phenomenal, right? Like and they showed all his records of what he's done as like a 17-year-old in a men's league and stuff. Like if you see some highlights that I saw like with Sochi and stuff, it's like, yeah, he's not that impressive. He's got a good shot, whatever. But Will Smith for me was incredibly impressive in the US TDP. I can never say that right. The US team. He was so impressive for that team. He seems like a guy who's like modest, really coachable. Michkov seems a little bit cockier, if you talk about attitudes and fit and stuff like this. It's just like what your team feels is the vibe of the management and the coaches and everything. Like different people fit in really well somewhere and not so good in other spots. So you never know, right? It's always a risk. And I think like I said, the top 5 or 6 are probably the most important. And another guy that's name's coming up a lot is Zach Benson for number 6. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have it now after watching that video. I'm swayed a little towards Michkov. So I think Bedard, Fantilli, Carlson, Michkov, Will Smith as Tankathon has it. And I know that Will Smith jumped, he bumped up immediately on some of the big names on TSN and Sportsnet. Some of the scouts, they were really impressed with him as well too. So I think the one thing that you look at as well with all these guys that is interesting. Bedard is an '05 baby, and so is Will Smith. So they're a little bit younger. They are going to take a little bit longer. And I know the contract issues and stuff with Michkov. It just depends on how long the Sharks want to wait it out. Like if they're willing to, I think it's going to be a couple tough years of rebuild, but they got like an amazing talent pool of guys in the Barracuda. That team's going to be amazing in a couple years, and all those guys are going to be coming to the NHL as like grown men in a couple years, and they'll look way different. They'll be bulking up in the gym in the summers and stuff. It's the Sharks prospects are really bright, and who knows? I'll scroll down here a little bit. They got like maybe even Musty or Stenberg, it looks like, on Tankathon, that could drop to the Sharks for the New Jersey pick. Like both those guys are awesome. So I'm really stoked about this draft specifically for the Sharks. I think you probably can't go wrong picking Will Smith at 4. I think, yeah, like if you're weighing risks and, stuff, but like, I mean, Michkov, I'm still thinking he'll probably be picked by the Sharks. I think Will Smith will go to number 5 or 6, like depending on what the Canadiens do with Benson or Will Smith. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thought I'd throw this out there this morning, and I think this week's going to be crazy with a lot of Leaf speculation. It's just the last thing I'll say too is, like I talked about McDavid earlier. It's like 4 years from now is like eons, for the NHL. It's like McDavid might be playing for Toronto by then, haha, after his, he comes up to his contract being finished, So it's like 4 years is an awful long time. And who knows how long Will Smith will take to develop. It could be 2-3 years before he's an NHLer too, right? So it's so hard to say. I think you got your pick of the litter at number 4, the Sharks I'm speaking about. So I don't envy that position. It's a tough one, right? We are judged by those picks in the future with, as much information as we have to make our decisions at the time. So good luck, guys. Hopefully pick a good one. That's it for now. Best of luck in the draft and going towards this week. It's going to be an interesting one.